Hello, everyone. Here we are again live, and we are on February 10th. And today I wanted to talk about making decisions. And I think this is a popular challenge, if you will, with entrepreneurs that I know for myself I've found really can hold me back because I get stuck in a cycle of trying to decide on something. Is this resonating with anyone here who's listening? Please post a note in the chat and let me know that, there's so many choices out there. There's a sea of choices of things as a solopreneur or I like to say micropreneur has to make. Everything from how, bookkeeping to all the technology to run a business, marketing, how we're going to sell your products and services. Where are you going to work? Who are you going to meet? You have to create your own, list of clients from your own interactions. No one's giving you a list that you go out and make contact with. Every single thing when you get up in the morning, often as an entrepreneur is a choice. Everything is a choice, and the Achilles heel or the trap in a way is that as a solopreneur, as a micropreneur, we get to choose. There's no one to go to ask for some advice, or there's no colleagues usually to go to unless you're part of a mastermind group, etc. So this was I've been struggling with this one for quite some time, and I thought today's the day. It came up when I was doing my meditation on what I wanted to share with you. So I have some notes around me, and I'm looking forward to. I see some people are watching, so please post a comment. Let me know who you are, where you are coming from. This is going across several different platforms that we operate on. So hello. This is the Entrepreneur Insights. My name is Jackie Nagy. I'm with Holistic. My company is Holistic Directions, and I've been in business now as solopreneur is what I call myself, for 13 years. And what I'm doing here is sharing with, my audience, other entrepreneurs, some of the pitfalls, some of the things that there was no one to go to for, to get the answers when I started my business. And so I spent a lot of downtime trying to figure things out on my own. I eventually figured out that hiring a coach is a really great way to figure things out, or more so a mentor for business. And it's really helped me accelerate my business by having someone there. But that's not always the case. So there's some strategies. Hi, Diane. Good morning from BC, Vancouver. Lovely to see you here. There's some strategies that I've kind of worked out on my own, and over sometimes many, many years. And these are the things that I'm wanting to share with you here. So when it comes to decisions, if we were in a live event, I would ask you to put your hand up. Who here has ever struggled to make a decision for so long that it almost starts to feel painful? It almost starts to feel as though every time you think about it, your chest tightens up, that it's difficult to even breathe. Yes, you can relate, isn't it? There's something about making a decision that puts us in this awkward, uncomfortable state, and it just can engulf all of us, and in fact shut down our mental capacity in order to decide and make a wise choice. And we want to make wise choices so that what we're choosing is good for us. And that's what I want to share with you today, is the 3 simple steps to making decisions in a sea of choices. So what I've discovered for myself when I have a decision that I'm making is the decision is the thing, but there's a process that needs to happen within me called deciding. Deciding is a verb. Yes. And deciding is an action. So when I get stuck in this state, like knots in the tummy, I'm not taking action. I'm not in the process. I'm not in the action, which is a verb, of deciding. So these are two different ways of being, if you will, about deciding what to do. And when I noticed this through, increasing my ability to be self-aware of myself, and understood that these are two different things, that if I talk to myself or I may share with somebody else that I'm making a decision, I'm really not doing anything. I'm actually just staying stuck. There's thoughts swirling around my head about it, but I'm not making any conscious choices at that stage. I'm not doing anything to actually get through this process to the end where I'm actually, making the choice. And so that's the first question. The second one is, and I want to frame this before I get into the 3 simple steps to help you understand, first of all, what gets us stuck in this sea of choices. The second thing is, remember the time you made a choice, that you decided on doing something. And I'm not going to say that it was a really great choice, but it was just the very fact that you decided, you felt so good. You felt this sense of relief. And if it was a really good choice, you felt elated. You felt excited. You couldn't wait to get started. If you were going on a trip, you couldn't wait to start packing your bag. If you had signed up for some sort of training program, you couldn't wait to start learning. And it was just this state of euphoria around, and also a sense of release. And that is very pleasurable, and that is very enjoyable, that state we feel after we've decided. So you've got these two things. There's all this sea of choices. You enter into a situation where you're presented with one of them, or maybe you're looking out and looking at, maybe you're doing some shopping and you are going out to find something, or you enter into a situation where someone offers you something. And then you enter into that state of decision. And that's where the tightness comes in, and you feel stuck and you're not sure what to do. And sometimes you're up at night thinking about it. And that can take over days, weeks, sometimes months of your energy. And then you have on the other side of, once you've decided, this euphoric feeling, pleasurable, enjoyable, exciting, freedom, and yes, wanting to jump out of bed in the morning kind of feeling. So in a sea of choices, I want you to consider these two parts of the process. And, choices can become a little bit of an addiction. So if you think about, for yourself, as this is something for myself, because I love having lots of choices, I get so excited about having more than one way to do things. And I get really euphoric about what can I do next, and looking at all the options that are available. And I realized that what I was doing was I was seeking this state that is after deciding on something, as a way to kind of pick me up, kind of give me a boost, give me a chance to not do the things that I should be working on, right? And so I was kind of seeking this pleasurable state that follows making a decision, or follows, the process of deciding, that we all know feels really good. Instead of focusing on the tightness and the feelings of constriction and being stuck during the process of, that decision process. Because that after process was so strong, I didn't remember that I had to go through this, this process of decision. So I would enter into an agreement, or I would be in a conversation, or I would be just about to hit that button to pay my credit card online. And I started to notice what was happening here was that I was seeking the pleasure of the end of the cycle. So I could exit out of it, feel good, and trick myself into thinking I've made a good choice. So I wanted to proceed the 3 steps with this concept of, what's blocking you in your business. Is it that you're presented with so many choices and you're, instead of taking the time to really study them, not in an analytical way. I'm going to give you 3 steps that are actually quite simple, because we can also get stuck in the analysis of decisions. Is it that we're seeking that pleasure at the end of hitting the pay button? That is really what we're wanting, and not the program, service, trip, new television, or whatever we're buying that we really want. And these things happen at a very deep unconscious level. So that was something that I wanted to presence at the beginning of this. And yes, Diane, pleasure rather than pain. So yes, so this is something to be aware of. And this happens in a lot of other areas of our life as well. When we look at our health, what we're eating, what we're choosing to do with our time, are we simply seeking the feeling we get from the pleasure and forgetting about, the outcome after that, the regret perhaps, or in this case with making a decision, the process of this, of the decision stage that gets us stuck. Okay, so that's the first part of this. Now, for the 3 steps, and I have a few notes here I'm going to refer to resolve, to make these choices in a way that is more ecological, that is more universal, because we are not silos as humans. We don't go around the planet from birth till, we leave, only caring about ourselves. We're not wired that way as human beings. We're wired for relationships. We're wired for having other people in our lives that we love and we care for, and our actions impact what happens to them, especially the people that are the closest to us, friends, best friends, especially family, close family, especially clients, inner circle clients, especially. So whenever we're making any decision, which is going to take up, which has an investment of money, which has an investment of time, and which has an investment of energy, and an investment of our focus of what we can do, it's so important that we consider that it's not just all about us. And it's not just all about this desire to feel good at the end of, making a decision, that there's other people that are in this puzzle, if you will. So the first one is, yes, yourself and what's good for you. And we've kind of talked about that when we earlier when I mentioned about the pain versus the pleasure. There's also what is good for you in terms of your health and your well-being, and again, the amount of time that you have in a day to get things done, and the amount of focus that you need in order to complete projects you've started, the obligations you already have to clients, for example. So one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs do is they fill their calendar with so much that they have no time, or it seems as though they have no time to even take a break, to even eat some food, to even go for a walk, even just for 20 or 30 minutes throughout the day. Everything is so jam-packed. And so when you think about making a decision, the question is this decision good for me and my health and well-being? What is it going to do to my schedule? What is it going to do to my focus, to my energy, to what's already on my plate that I've already committed to do, not only to myself, but to others? So that's the one step, is to sit with the decision, whatever it is you're looking at purchasing or investing in or deciding on choosing, and ask yourself those questions. And how you do that is you imagine that you've decided to say yes. And then you imagine, what impact is that going to have after? So it takes a little bit of time to process that. Maybe you need to make a little bit of a list, depending on how detailed or complex the thing it is that you're wanting to decide on. It could be about a relationship that you're deciding on, whether you want to form a relationship or unform a relationship. And, this is really, really important in terms of deciding what is going to be good for your health and well-being. Is entering into a new friendship something that's going to support you and be in alignment with who you are? And it's all about knowing who you are, knowing your values, knowing what's important to you, knowing what it is that you're really the authentic piece of who you are. And is that person aligned with that? Or are they just fun people to be with? Or are they people that perhaps you want to soak up some of their energy? So think about the reasons why you're doing those, making those choices. And is that choice good for you? We can break down choices. There was an article I read recently that said there's 10,000, if not, choices every single day. And so the quicker you can make a choice that's good for you, the better you will be in the long run. So that's the first step, is to sit with yourself and just go through a short checklist of, is what I'm deciding in alignment with my values and what's important to me? Is what I'm deciding going to fit in my schedule, into my calendar? Is what I'm deciding something I really love and that I really enjoy? And how you decide that one is taking some time about thinking, when was the last time I made that choice in the past? And how did I feel about it while I was doing it or while I was enjoying the purchase? And how did I feel about it after? Did I still feel the same way, a month or 2 or 6 months later? And I'm always looking for those, whatever it is I'm deciding to do, as this is something that I absolutely know I want. I know it's a good fit. It's a good timing for me and my health and well-being. And I feel so much more congruent that I'm really supporting myself. So the first step is really doing that from first position, from what's good for you place, if you will. The second one is considering what is good for those other people that I mentioned, other people in your life. So your friends, family, colleagues, if you have, and, or partners, business partners, clients, and even, a bigger piece of the puzzle would be, your community. So we could be talking again about relationships. We could be talking about making a business investment into something that's going to support you in your business. A lot of the choices that I make in my business as a solopreneur is around investing in technology, investing in marketing. So a lot of the decisions that I make is investing in programs and products and services that are going to help me take my business to the next level. Investing in hiring a coach or a mentor. So a lot of my decisions at this stage of my business, and I would say with a lot of entrepreneurs, is around that. Do I hire a bookkeeper to come in full time, or do I decide to do it myself, or do I bring in someone on a contract basis to do that for me? So those are the kind of decisions in the space of an entrepreneur that we're making every single day. And we often again, when it comes to this, how does this impact other people? This is a piece that I find a lot of entrepreneurs are not fully either aware of or jump too quickly and don't have the time to consider others. So even though you may be really good about doing a run through of what's important to you when you're deciding something, this may be something that you're missing. Is what I'm deciding going to be good for my bank account? Is what I'm deciding going to be good for those other things that are on my list that I promised to someone else? Is what I'm deciding to do going to take away time from my relationships with friends and family? Or is what I'm deciding to do going to diminish the quality of energy and focus and time I have for obligations that I've already made previously? And so there's a tendency to jump into things a little quickly and then go afterwards, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to fit this in. It's just one more thing to add to what I've already got on my plate. And I think this may be resonating with you at this point. And so the third, so that's really a simple step again. And if you're not sure who are the people that are impacted by your decisions, that would be the first step I would suggest you start with. Sit down, make a list of all the people in your life who, when you make a decision, are going to be impacted by it. You'd be really surprised what comes up on that list. And that could take you all of about a minute. It's a very worthwhile process. The third one is, what is your guide telling you? What is your, that part of you that doesn't speak, that part of you that doesn't really analyze things, that part of you that has a deeper wisdom, that has stored within it all of the experiences that you've had as an entrepreneur and even before you were an entrepreneur, that understands nothing logically, but intuitively knows so much more than we can appreciate. And in the field I'm in, which is in NLP, we call this the unconscious. Some people refer to it as the subconscious, is a slight bit different in the definitions. And in NLP, we refer to this part of us as the unconscious. Now, we did a fantastic event yesterday. We had people from many parts of the world on a live training, which we do every month, which is the Holistic NLP Cafe. And we had a special guest as well, Michael Carroll from the NLP Academy in London. And we did a process to connect with this part of us, this unconscious part of us, to ask questions, to discover, to have us as a way to support us in making decisions. Now, we didn't really go into that type of process yesterday, but we did go into a process to set up signals that we can have to ask our unconscious questions that would have a yes or a no response. And the process is so powerful. And I'm going to post a link to a YouTube video so that you can watch that. Which is Michael working with a group online last year, and give you an example of some of the work that we do at our Holistic NLP Cafe. And so this unconscious part of us is a part that some people have not really tuned into yet, or some of the people in this community who are listening are very tuned in. And yet, we're busy, we have a lot on our plates, and we don't always take the time to check in. Whether does our unconscious support us in making this decision? So how our unconscious decides whether a decision is going to be good for us is this decision going to satisfy a higher intention? So when we talk in a higher positive intention, and so as an entrepreneur, I know many of you have very clearly defined missions and visions of what you wish to achieve in the world. And I've been really tweaking mine lately. And so, I'm fairly clear on what mine is. And that's my mission is teaching self-mastery practices, so people have the tools to be independently wealthy and happy. And, knowing that I have my mission very clearly defined and written down, I can refer to that when I'm deciding on things, as that is my higher and positive intention. That not only is good for me, not only is it good for, the people in my inner circle and those others, close friends and family and clients, it's also good for the universe, for the planet, for the community around me. My unconscious knows that. My unconscious is fully aware of what it is that I'm wishing to achieve in my business. And so when I check in, and when you check in, when you use your signals to check in with your unconscious to determine whether this choice is one that is in alignment with your positive intentions, you're going to get one of two possible answers: a yes or a no. And so this third simple step is accessing that intuitive part of you in a systematic way, in a way that we actually connect. So it's not just about a sensation or feeling that we then interpret to be a yes or no. This system that we teach in NLP and in our programs that we deliver here now online, a lot of them, is a way to literally access signals that come from our unconscious, some people use the word inner guide, or you can use your intuition, but it's a little bit different than intuition, although it does feel similar to intuitive feeling. To ask questions, to ask, is what I'm planning to decide on doing in alignment with my positive intentions, yes or no? And and there's some other things you can do, if that's not coming across really clearly. There's different ways to form the questions, but I think you understand what I'm saying, and you're getting the importance of this. So just to kind of sum this up, so that we stay within our time frame, I'm looking at my time at 27 minutes, is making decisions can be a very stressful process. And so just remember that part of that decision making can put you into a state that can really get you stuck and block you from doing the things that you maybe should be doing, that you have priority to do. So watch yourself become more aware of going down that rabbit hole of adding too many decisions to your plate, because this process in itself takes up energy and time and focus. Be aware that there's this carrot dangling at the end of deciding, at the end of the strategy of making a decision where we've decided, that feels euphoric, that feels pleasurable, that unconsciously we may be seeking to just have that experience. And so we get caught into the trap of, making too many decisions, and then we're overloaded with too many options and choices again in our life. So be aware of that. And then the 3 simple steps are, number 1, checking in with ourselves, knowing who we are, what is important to us, what is it that we are wanting to achieve? Is this choice that I'm about to make, is this decision good for me and my health and well-being? What is it going to do to my already busy schedule? Is it going to open up time in my schedule? Or is it going to fill my schedule up with more to do? So be aware of that and take some time. We don't have to be always pushing that buy button like that. We can go back to something and make a decision that's more mindful. The second one is, what impact is this decision going to have on people that are important to me, that are close to me in my life? How will this decision be impacting our relationship and the time we have to spend together, perhaps? Or if it's an economic, financial decision, what impact is that going to have on them and their life, and whether they sleep good at night, and also our clients? And the third is developing those skills to connect within with our unconscious, to be able to ask those questions and really get solid answers from the wiser, deeper part of us that has stored all of our experiences our whole life, and so has that deeper wisdom, and may also alert you to something that you're not consciously aware of and not analytically aware of, about the last time a decision was made similar to this and the implications were not good. And so, that no signal sometimes comes up, even though there's a part of us that, wow, really, really, really wants it. Is it something that we really, really need? And is it something that we really, really need now? So the wanting something is one state to be in, and the needing something is a whole different question. Is it something we need? In terms of, the business, which is what we're talking about. And is it something that we need now, or can we wait? So it's being really more mindful and attentive to the decisions that are really important to you. I hope this has been helpful. I would love to hear more of your comments, so please post them below. And also remember to join us at the Holistic NLP Cafe. We are hosting the events every month. We just had one yesterday on February 9th, and we're having another one coming up in March. And you can find us on the Holistic NLP Cafe Global Community Facebook group, which is an open group. Feel free to join us there. The links are below. And that's about it. I hope this has been of some service to you. And please tune in again next week. For now, we'll see you. Bye-bye.